Are you in pain?
Well, history's about to get a rewrite.
Nice sync up. For once.
Stop.
It's ticklish.
I'm coming, Father.
It's a gauntlet! The vampire lady has us covered!
Unit lost.
The amount of warning time you can expect is 6 or 7 seconds.
As big as a 15 megaton city killer nuclear bomb.
Easy's dying, man! He's all fucked up! You see that? Escape pods from Ulysses. I see him crashing down. What about it?
Chronosphere ready. Select target. Chronosphere charging.
Quick, Marco! We gotta hurry before Metallitron finds us! Yeah, Johnny, but where are we gonna hide?
Got you now, Mega Hyper Hero!
Wait a second, I definitely heard something.
Oh, that's just Woofy. He's been in there a while. Now you concentrate and stay in character. Woofy, settle down. Now you just focus on your little wiener schnitzel.
I gotta get out of here.
Don't worry, he never gets all the way through. Maybe you better go. Woofy has got to stop doing this to Mommy's friends. Yes, he does. Yes, he does. He'll be all right for a while. Here, this is for you. It's all right. Good grab.
Did I bring you pleasure?
Not really. You better haul ass.
Dad will be showing up soon with the keys, and you can look for yourself.
Whoa, what are you doing?
Don't stay farty. Just hold your breath.
You don't have to do that.
Oh, I don't mind.
Yeah, but I do.
But I want to.
It's my job to clear on pizza night.
You never come to pizza night.
Throw shit off the porch!
Ego and childhood history stop him from making the mistakes he needs to make to become the person that he's meant to be. Oh! Open the door with your pen. Yes. Oh, good luck.
And you will be civil and polite, and you will not let her push your...
Pamela! Get your fat ass out here!
She should be right out. She's... Yikes. Guess I should get in there and break that up.
It's okay, Good boy.
Oh Gott, wie süß!
Come on, asshole, piss already. I mean, come on. Come on, will you go? Come on,
Hey.
Go, will you? Come on.
Hey.
on. Come on.
Help! Incoming!
Hey, Claudius. You killed my father. Big mistake.
Something is rotten in the...
Don't make me do it. Where's the money? Yo te doy lo que tú quieras, por favor. I want the money. I want the money in the bags. Where's the fucking money? No. I want it now. Oh, shit.
I thought that urine might be getting a little stale, so I brought you some more.
The pigs are fattening nicely.
Lose the pig.
Hey, pig. Stop following me.
I love my wife. May God forgive me.
you died, Goldie.
Cowards tend to do that. Give me the tape. Liftoff.
Come on, push! I'm pushing!
Damn! It's a badass candy machine. Ooh. We got him.
It isn't real. It isn't real. It isn't real.
You're trespassing in my house! If you touch my son again, I'll fucking kill you!
Worm attack.
Damn, you're ugly.
Babadook, you love all of shenanigans. Oh, nutsack. Oops.
Investigating. What the fuck is that?
All right, I'll just go by myself. Oh, sick. Hey, wide body, curb it next time. Oh, jeez. Oh, yuck. Oh.
Ich freue mich sehr, dich kennenzulernen, Florian.
Freut mich auch sehr, Herr Paradies.
Je, tut mir leid.
Kein Problem.
Seltsam. Hier gibt es nicht zufällig Hunde, oder?
Nö.
Entschuldige, Florian.
Macht nichts.
Will die under it.
Whoa! Hey! Who? Yeah! A Bendigo bad boy!
Charlie, get down from there!
Dad! You gotta see this!
Don't touch anything.
It's great!
I'm just gonna call the police. I'll carry the stuff up there, let them deal with it, okay?
Oh, this accursed heat.
Does he always speak for you? Forget him. He is too young for you to be concerned with. May Allah be with you.
Aye, I'm with you. Oats, Hamza, they eat oats. And I could do with a bloody cold Highland ale right now.
Do it again, Dad. Please.
I can't, the thing's empty.
Check out Santa's sleigh!
There's no such thing as Santa's sleigh.
What about the reindeer? These are Santa's reindeer, aren't they?
I hope not. These are, Charlie! Stay away from those things! They're reindeer. You don't know where they've been. They all look like they've got key Lyme disease.
Close your eyes.
Why?
Suit yourself.
Followed very abruptly by the worst feeling I ever had.
All the cardiologists said he's having a heart attack.
All the bright horses in the sun. Mama's supposed to get in and ride and run.
This eagle's place is in the sky. She's still got a lot of flying to do.
My point! Oh.
Well, why don't you let me be the judge of that, all right? Father.
Your son is unique. Have you ever wondered why?
Get out!
Mulder, she's making it pretty clear.
Bad things happen when the birds gather.
Something was out here, Scully. Something hot enough to turn sand into glass, to singe those trees and to blister the roof of that camper.
Fit, you're really sick.
Open the gate!
Status: condemned to execution.
Eject!
Let's go.
Lord Mark's here.
pas le garder là indéfiniment.
Je sais bien, mais j'ai pas de cellule individuelle. Et chaque fois que je le mets avec un autre détenu...
They found a cable running from a municipal power source. Still looking into internet.
Bye. Go. Good luck, Roxy.
What is it? What happened? It's just... I don't know what I just saw. Let me out of here.
Quinn! You're released.
Okos vagy, Küzsi!
Nem veszed észre, hogy nincs egy ember, akit még nem üldöztél ki a világból? Csak én vagyok ilyen hülye fasz, hogy jövök.
Got any drugs or weapons on you?
No.
So, where was she?
She was in the hospital.
Getting more surgery?
Yep.
When we saw him, all he cared about was a box.
What box?
This one.
What's in it?
I don't know.
Drop the knives and put your hands in the air.
So, what do you want to talk about?
Listen, we've got to work this whole Ricky situation out.
Dahmer land.
You better be a cop.
No, forensics.
Dex!
Hey, what's up?
Detectives!
I see you.
Bodies were dissected, but that's not what killed them.
You were right. This is so fucked up.
What do you think, Frank?
What do you need from us?
A bioreaction facility?
Because your mom wanted to talk to someone.
Aunt Seema.
I guess.
Terrific sandwich.
Bullshit! The patient's burnt skin has got to be excised to prevent bacterial infection.
64 inches from the south wall.
The suspect's name is Sally Kendrick. Early 40s, 5'8", 135 pounds.
I hope you guys brought your fine-tooth comb. I want every piece of lint collected and analyzed.
Hello, Detective. Is there a reason you're interrupting me mid-soup?
Yes, I'm ready for my self-evaluation.
Welcome to our home.
Let's get back to the command deck.
I'm shot.
Hey! Oh, duper, you got in my sock!
You are now in violation of National Security Protocol. Seeking available options.
Maybe I can put this together with a little magic.
You are now classified as an enemy of the state. 23%, 25%.
So, erstmal das Passwort eingeben. Der Sohn des Ra hat seine kleinen Geheimnisse, das verstehen Sie doch sicher. Nach einer intensiven Bestrahlung mit Satonen wird meine Mega-Erfindung die Haut Ihrer kleinen Freundin in ein entzückendes Grün verwandeln.
I'm trying to work, Daniel. Look, if that's you, then can you just stop it?
Ascension in 3, 2, 1.
We've still lost the gravity funnel. We can't escape the black hole.
But we stopped him. That's what the doctor would have done.
Some victory. We're going in. Hold on!
You okay? Yeah, but my leg is pinned. What the hell was that?
Guy downstairs with the bullet in his head.
I would find the ones I was looking for. Your practice is closed, Doctor.
What the hell did you put in there? What did you do?
Hello. Come in, come in.
Chaplain at Attica said Pastor Randy had been down the Habit Road himself, so he'd help me.
Curfew's not on weekdays.
Great.
In the sweet.
Mega diaper babies.
A bolt of lightning, a clap of thunder, and it's the Mega Diaper Babies to the rescue!
The fire finished. Sometimes it's too late to save a man. We must move out before we join him in death. Water fire means the MPLA is ready for attack. If they want a fight, we give them a fight. Move out!
Get on the front line with the General.
Done it. Hello, me. Where are you going?
not again.
I need you in the panic room. The compound is full lockdown.
Vous invite à souper à la Pizza Vesuvio, où il vous sera offert, en plus du cocktail de bienvenue, un mystérieux écran.
No! And let them send us all straight to hell!
I'm Dr. King Schultz. This is my horse Fritz.
My name is Dr. King Schultz. This is my valet Django. And these are our horses Tony and Fritz.
Good morning, gentlemen.
Good Dr. Schultz.
Küldjenek már föl kentek, azt ide azzal a pénzzel, meg kijövök a sodrás buma!
Nem magyar.
Ki szavaz arra, hogy átmenjünk, és ki arra, hogy ne?
Good luck.
Raise those fences like I asked.
I took care of it. Let's go get a beer.
We stand now upon the brink of destruction, for the reign of chaos has come at last. Where the fuck are you? I need you. I need you now.
Such rudeness.
Vivienne reine. Et Boulard, roi. Thank you, pussycat. Right, I will.
Video game is all you can think about, it's all you can talk about. It's all you can think about. All you can think about.